Lone Druid, he gets banned out here as well. They don't want to have to deal with that because, of course, this game they're actually getting first pick. And the thing that's probably going through QPad's head right now is, can we get the Lifestealer? Because if they get Lifestealer, the other team picks Nyx +1. I still think Lifestealer is a pretty worthy trade, but they're going to ban a Keeper of the Light, and yep, there's your Lifestealer. So whenever you see the Batrider ban out, it's pretty obvious that that's going to be the first thing that's going to be on your mind. But now it's up to IC Cup. Do they want to go for the Prophet again, or do they want to try to go for something else?
Now, I feel the Prophet did justice in terms of IC Cup. It definitely had the farm it needed. It was just that gem pickup with the Shadow Blade on the Prophet pretty much shut down the whole game. And we did mention that mid-fight for IC Cup. If it went in their favor, this could have been a 1-0 IC Cup going into game 2. Though it isn't, of course. It's 1-0 towards QPad Red Pandas. And it's a very scary thing to be playing now for your whole tournament off one game. If you lose this, your tournament's ending. So QPad, they're obviously more comfortable in the situation of where they're in, but they don't want to get cocky. They still want to play what they know. They want to, just win this and just guarantee they get to at least have a shot at Mouse Sports, who are waiting to play the second game of today, which will finish up all our groups and will give us our 4 teams. But IC Cup, we go back to them. They've got 2 picks, and they're taking a little while right now just to get into this. They got a lot of options.
This is a hard spot, though. Yeah, this is a really hard spot for them. There are a couple of things they can do. Say, for instance, QPad, they want to go for the mag again. They want to give Select the hero that he had a great performance on the last game. It looks like they will manage to secure themselves a profit. Something like a Rubik wouldn't surprise me. Clockwork, also fantastic against Lifestealer. So
they played that brilliantly as well. IC Cup, that game, they played Clockwork versus Mouse Sports earlier in the tournament, was fantastic. And QPad Red Pandas, on the return of the Clockwork, get themselves a Nyx Assassin and a Shadow Demon again. Shadow Demon, you talk about him as just one of the best supports when it comes to team fights in the later stages. His ultimate goes through BKB. He can save people or set up kills with disruption. He's a big asset to any team. What do you make of IC Cup's choice with the Nature's Prophet and Clockwork, knowing now that they've given away the Shadow Demon and Nyx?
The Nature's Prophet is a hero who, in my eyes, can work in almost every single situation just because of what he brings to the table. It's being able to jungle, it's being able to offlane, 1 versus 1. Whatever matchup you put him in, he can do well. The problem with the Nature's Prophet lies in having a team who can actually follow him up, because he doesn't add a whole lot in terms of split push until around 15-20 minutes in, when you get your Midas, you get your Shadow Blade, or whatever core items that the player decides to go for. So it's biding that time in the laning phase, and Wetboss and I actually discussed this the other day. When you see heroes like Prophet, Wisp picked up, you need to make sure you get really good laners. Otherwise, you're going to end up just getting rolled over in that phase, and then you can't do anything, where I feel that's what the QPad Red Pandas are trying to do right now.
All right. A Bane pickup for IC Cup. A very formidable support. Very annoying to play against, and just really good in those offensive tri-lanes, especially. So we'll see if that will be the case. But of course, we are looking then for maybe go for a defensive tri-lane with the Clockwork and Nature's Prophet available as well. But they could play that Clockwork if they wanted to on the tri-lane with the Bane. That's also a good combination. And we are going to move into our second set of bans. You can see QPad Red Panda is going to remove the Magnus themselves and also the Leshrac. Don't want to be playing against a Magnus. And IC Cup are taking out the Storm Spirit, maybe taking a page out of EG's book and saying, we've seen this with a Lifestealer and how much it disrupts the map. So they're going to be removing that. We do know Singh does play a pretty good Storm Spirit, and then also the Skywrath Mage. And you could actually expect Lifestealer to be played by Select. He's done it a few times, so I think that's a very wise choice of bans from IC Cup. The Skywrath Mage banning that mid. We haven't seen that much played by mid on QPad Red Pandas, but a good pickup nonetheless. A good ban, sorry, nonetheless.
The bans are all kind of pointed towards this Nature's Prophet. You look at the heroes, the Wisp, the Skywrath to an extent, now Puck, Storm Spirit, they all punish him incredibly hard because you don't actually know when the storm's going to be coming. The Puck has great initiation range as well. So the answer to that is going to be the Nyx Assassin, of course, and the Lifestealer Bomb. So whenever that Nyx Assassin gets 6, we're probably going to see the same strategy that QPad Red Pandas used in Game 1, where they sent Singh to the jungle, have the Nyx farm the lane. This way, when they get Infest and the Nyx, they can punish the Nature's Prophet anyway if he does try to do his split-pushing shenanigans. And now, they have a Night Stalker, who is one of the beefiest, scariest heroes during the mid-game.
Absolutely. That Night Stalker pickup just shows that QPad want to fight. They want to make stuff happen. They want to rotate and get the kills. And if they do something similar with the Nyx Assassin going to the safe lane, as you just mentioned, and the Lifestealer even just starting off in the jungle, if they so choose to, instead of going for tri-lane, that Nyx Assassin level 6 and the Night Stalker with his mid levels, the first nighttime could be devastating. For IC Cup if it goes wrong. And you got to think, well, you got a Nature's Prophet. He's going to be farming. Is he going to have his Shadow Blade by the first nighttime? Probably not.
He better farm really fast if he wants to get it that quick, because if he doesn't, he's going to be a really, really sad tree man. So IC Cup, like I said, they're picking some really strong laners to compensate for that Prophet pick. The Bane, Clockwork, even Gyro to an extent, very, very potent laners in their own right.
Gyro is fantastic as well versus the Night Stalker if you're able to get your Rocket Barrage up before you get a silence off. Because if he's going to be running into that, despite how tanky you are, a Rocket Barrage is one of the most damaging spells in the game if it connects all on the same person. So we'll have to see where QPad Red Pandas go. Actually, I think Wepaz is holding up a bounty hunter here.
10 seconds remaining.
And he actually is predicting a bounty.
A bounty could be possible, actually.
I think that might be a little bit too much on the
greedy.
aggression.
I'll say it's greedy, but the only reason I would say it's okay is because of the fact that the Gyro is the only AoE damage coming out of IC Cup, and Bounty Hunter excels in situations where he can be the only person who really walks in. So yeah, the Dark Seer is also a possibility if they wanted somebody to throw into that off lane, whereas right now, Bane is actually kind of scary if you're a Dark Seer, because if you surge before the Nightmare, you can just straight up die. And if the Clockwork is running in a defensive position as well, just used as a support, it's actually pretty darn scary. So we'll see. Looks like it's actually going to be a Windrunner choice. So a hero who I haven't seen them use a whole lot, but it is somebody who can go for a mech, seeing as how the rest of QPad up until this point probably not going to see the Shadow Demon getting a mech because he's not going to get farmed. Nyx wants the Arcanes, and Lifestealer and Night Stalker are not the heroes to buy it.
Yeah, I like the Windrunner pickup just because it adds that needed, I feel, kind of follow-up to big team fights. You can never predict how that Shackle normally is going to land, but once it lands, it's devastating.
So saw Cinder in Shackle.
Yeah, if you're looking to fight, having a Windrunner is pretty a safe person in fights. Just with the mobility that she brings to the game, but also that Shackle, if you hit a good one, you win the fight. So if you're looking for fights, you know, people call it luck, and sometimes in terms of like, oh, that's a lucky Shackle, this is, you know, a lucky double stump. But the fact is, you have to be looking for those situations as a team to be able to be called lucky. And actually, Resolution decides that his last pickup is going to be his hero, as he was actually doing the bans and drafts for his team, and it's going to be a Templar Assassin. What do you think of the Templar Assassin?
I love this pick. I think this is actually now kind of scary for QPad, because you look at the side of QPad right now and you're thinking to yourself, well, a Night Stalker versus a TA, the Night Stalker is going to have to really void spam for CS until Select gets his bottle. Resolution's going to feel almost no pressure. They're going to have to probably roam on Resolution in middle lane if they want to stop him from getting that very quick treads or phase. A lot of people are actually starting to go treads recently just because they want that extra survivability, and then of course maybe get the blink, maybe just go full sneaking and just get a set of drums and a manta afterwards just for the survivability and the mobility that it gives you. But I feel like this rounds out their lineup quite nicely just to give you that physical damage output that Icy Cup were kind of lacking until now.
Yeah, definitely a great pickup, and you can see it's very scary, that TA, even to the frontline runners, in terms of the damage dealers that QPad have on their team, including the Lifestealer and also now the Night Stalker. So let's go through the lineups. We'll start with IC Cup first. On the Templar Assassin, it is going to be the captain of the team, Resolution, playing a very good mid. Unfortunately, last game wasn't able to make everything that he wanted to happen on his puck, but that's Resolution on the TA. On the Nature's Prophet is going to be Mag. Following that will be I Always Want to Fly on the Clockwork. Playing the Bane will be We Just Zik. And last, and certainly not least, is Jackal, once again on his Gyrocopter. Last game, lackluster on the farm. Pretty decent in terms of his positioning for the fights, but just too far behind to make something big happen. Let's see what he can do this game.
And on the side of the QPad Red Pandas, we're going to have Sing playing on that Lifestealer. We're going to have Mini playing on the Nyx Assassin. Jerax going to be handling that Shadow Demon. A little bit to the north, we're going to have Wagamama playing on that Windrunner, and finally Select playing mid on the Night Stalker. And I want to point this out really quick. Has Meg played anything but Nature's Prophet? Like, has he played another hero? Because I don't think he has. I think this is actually like his third or fourth game as just this hero.
Potentially true. We'd have to check in with Bruno, obviously. Yeah. We don't want to take his job, and nor do we feel confident enough saying if that's factually correct. or not. But either way, yeah, on that Nature's Prophet. So he played Weaver once, apparently.
Weaver,
so
okay.
We were almost correct. We give ourselves the point anyway, as we're in charge here. So yeah, offensive tri-lane coming out from Cupid Red Pandas. Jackal's going to be able to pick himself up a haste rune, and he's also got 1 point in Rocket Barrage. So this could be pretty devastating if they want to do something with it, but actually it's going to go to I Always Want to Fly. How are they going to utilize this haste pickup? And wow, look at this. Wagamama is actually, they've decided to rotate. They're up against the, they want to dodge the tri-lane Cupid Red Pandas, and Wagamama's going to be playing off lane on his Windrunner.
It's the safer choice. In the early game, the Cupid Red Pandas, they could have contested this tri-lane. Don't get me wrong, they could have had Wagga farming, and they could have potentially gone for the quick mech or the quick forest staff, but at the end of the day, you really want Sing to be protected. You want him to get some semblance of farm in the early game. You want Mini to get that level 6. So instead of actually running the tri-lane top, they're just going to have Mini pulling for Sing and have Jerax help out against this TA, because as we mentioned previously, Night Stalker not so good against TA one-on-one.
Yeah, and you can see the illusions made from the disruption are almost instantly going to take down that refraction. So Select has some damage that he could spam, but he is just spending his void, guaranteeing that he gets the creep kills, and already a bottle coming out for Select mid.
Getting the bottle as soon as possible, it's always nice, because Void only costs 90 mana. It's actually one of the lowest mana cost nukes that does quite a huge chunk of damage, 335 at max rank, so it's going to be really nice later on. My worry for Cupid is that they only really have one hero who is very, very good against TA, and that's the Shadow Demon. Sure, lining up a Shackle is going to be great if you stun and mana burn. Those are going to be really nice follow-ups, but there's nothing to really chew through that refraction outside of those illusions coming out of the Shadow Demon. So we'll see how hard they're going to actually prioritize killing Resolution. Once the Night Stalker hits 6, or maybe during even the first night, they can potentially kill him.
I think something we should also mention that's happened that's quite interesting that also took place last game is that the carry, who's currently being played by Sing, the Lifestealer, is in the jungle just farming up, and because the two support rotations, Mag on his Nature's Prophet has gone to his own jungle, so Mini has this lane to himself, and he's going to be able to once again farm up, and we saw how scary he was as a Nyx assassin.
His performance this game is probably going to be even more important, because it's not just worrying about Jackal in game number 2, it's worrying about Jackal and Resolution. The last game, Resolution got a hero, he got Puck, that I feel like is a little bit easier to have a big impact on, but he still just couldn't really do anything on his own. It was very reminiscent of how Scandal felt when he played Puck for Empire, and he was making great plays, but there was just nothing else on his team that could do anything for him. So now, Resolution as a hero who can find the solo kills, he can just man-mode it because of that refraction and how little that Cupid actually have to stop it.
Yeah, he's currently not doing as well as Select mid for a change. Must be a blue moon or something. But either way, he's 8-4. Select currently 12-6, and that was a credit to the early bottle that's actually being bottle crowed. It's not an upgraded courier yet for Cupid, and they've actually upgraded the courier for IC Cup, so going to be out of sorts for the moment, and Resolution just getting a little bit more dangerous, putting down a little bit better harass. One of the other stories we should mention that's happening, if you look at the levels, you can actually see all the way down the bottom is Wagamama, currently level 2. He's trying to pull the Ancients and be able to stack them because he's getting absolutely nothing on his lane. So the rotation to jungle on Mag and just having that safe tri-lane is working out a little bit better for IC Cup in terms of levels, at least.
For the time being, but in all honesty, the Nature's Prophet, he has to do something on the map. That's the one difference between the two junglers, whereas Sing, he can sit there and jungle all day, really, until they see IC Cup start to make a move, and then he's going to be pressured. But he doesn't have to worry about having map awareness, really. He's just going to sit there, safely farm, and be pretty content with that for the first 10-15 minutes of the game. And then, of course, once Resolution starts moving around, that's when the rest of Cupid are going to have to start reacting. So the pressure I feel in the early game is on IC Cup. Select taking quite a bit of damage here, actually. Going to see a Void do quite a bit of damage to Resolution. Here comes Jerax from the back. There is going to be a Shadow Poison. Refraction up in about 5 seconds. The Resolution hugging the lower side of the river. The power shot does clip from Wagamama, but it doesn't look like... Oh, they do get the kill! Jerax with a long distance poison. Very, very nicely done. I actually thought that Resolution was going to be able to get that refraction.
Yeah, refraction. Only a second or two from being available to be put up, and he would have got away with his life. He didn't have boots as well, so... Shadow Demon was chasing the best he could, and that's a huge pickup because, as we mentioned, Resolution on the TA mid versus Select on his Night Stalker, that was really where IC Cup could have got a nice advantage in the game, since Resolution has been playing great mid, and also it's a matchup where the TA looks very strong. So Jerex has come to mid lane twice. The first time he just put down some harass, make sure Select got a little bit of an advantage in terms of farm, and then he comes back and helps secure the kill with Wagamama with his power shot. Another thing that we should go to, IC Cup supports. They're currently just pulling and killing what they can off in the jungle, doing very well. They don't carry any smokes on them. They do have boots on the clock if they want to initiate. Oh, Select.
Oh, here comes the supports, though. Sing, they want to try to find resolution. There's actually going to be a disruption. Sentry Ward is dropped. Refraction still going to be there for the time being. Rocket does a little bit of damage on the side of IC Cup, but Resolution, he's going to be dropping again. The Refraction not going to be able to save him. And Select, he gets the last hit. So far, we always talked about how important it would be for Resolution to be killed, and he's died twice in 5 minutes.
This could be devastating to the defensive tri-lane bottom, just because when Select hits level 6, he's surely going to make an impact down there. If you actually look, Zik is actually been stacking for Jackal. But how safe is Jackal going to feel on his gyrocopter when you've got a Night Stalker, as nighttime just comes, who could be level 7, as another fight kicks off mid, as they stun Resolution, his mini with his level 6.
Resolution, he just can't seem to win here. Do they have another sentry? That's the question. Mini kind of hovering around. He does have a set of smoke, and that power shot from Waga. He picks him off. Mini might be in some trouble. Stun on Always Want to Fly might buy him enough time to get away. Mag, he gets a Sprout off, but Mini, he's got another Tango. He's trying to retreat back to his side of the woods. A two-man shackle coming out of Waga. And it just seems like Red Pandas right now, they're just making the plays that need to happen. The third death for this TA in 6 minutes.
Yeah, they've punished him fantastically. And sorry, I was going to go back and talk about Jackal, because this is where I'm worried for him. He's had some camps stacked for him. He's currently using cooldown just to catch up on some gold, but he's 770 HP. Even if he wants to go for a Helm of the Dominator on early Ogre Club, or even Drums, he's going to have such a tough time. He does manage to pick up the stats, though, that We Just Sick did for him, so they do get something good going for him, IC Cup, but overall, they have to be very scared. You can see Mini now going top. He's got 1 second left. Vendetta is now off cooldown. He's going to use it, and as I mentioned, anybody in this lane down here is not going to be safe. And We Just Zik picks up boots, and he is literally legging it. Even though his legs, they don't move much.
I don't think it's fair to say that. He's more like hovering it or something like that. But he just narrowly escapes death. I don't even think Mini saw him because it was nighttime. I'm not sure if he actually got close enough to spot him out. But he's still kind of hiding out under the guise of the tower. Select's now here in this bottom lane as well. He's got his urn completed. He's level 7, so he's got max rank of that Void. And Mini just getting that 6 so incredibly fast on Nyx because of the safe lane farm. It's just been working out so well for QPad these last 2 games.
Yeah, and this is where it gets dangerous. Mini doesn't have Vendetta, but is smoked up with Select. You've got 4 points into Void. They're looking for a target, and it looks like Wagamama is calling him bottom. And this is where it could go bad, but actually Select's going to go to middle. Also to mention as well, Mag, IC Cup's Mag playing Nature's Prophet, has just picked up his Hand of Midas. Hasn't used it yet. Sing's had his for a little while. I think he's used it at least twice. So Sing a little bit ahead in the farm, despite going jungle as well.
Well, as it stands right now, IC Cup need to stop letting their TA die. They need to start reacting a little bit more than they have been so far. And there's actually a high ground ward that's going to be countered by Jerex, so IC Cup losing a bit more safety in terms of this middle lane matchup. And Resolution, you can see how differently he's playing, as we're going to see a rocket hit Sing here in the top lane. He's trying to pressure that tier 1. Mini, he's going to spot out Always Want to Fly in the jungle, and here comes Wagamama. He's going to be able to line up the shackle, and here comes the power shot afterwards. This should be a very dead work. The cogs land, but 4 members of QPad currently here, and the rest of IC Cup, they just simply don't have an answer for this. They might even just get dove under this tower. Shadow Poison, going to be scouting him out. Jackal, he's going to be able to TP, yeah. Oh no, he cancels it. This could be bad. He actually cancels the TP. That means there's going to be no help whatsoever. The top tower, actually, in the meantime, ends up going the way of QPad. So Mag, unable to get to deny. Zik, he teleports top, but it does look like Jackal, at the very least, should be able to get out of here.
Yeah, and Jackal, he's not going to be able to farm. He's just going to go and try and get himself a cam, but look at that. They've spotted him by wards. Jerex is in position. He's got Demonic Purge. He's going to open up with the disruption, waiting for his teammates, but his teammates are no, screw this, we just want the tower. And the DD Night Stalker, played by Select, gets the tower, pops his ultimate, and it looks like they're going to rotate mid. So this could be dangerous. It's all about how well can IC Cup defend this mid tower if QPad are wanting to push. But so far, QPad looking really far ahead. Jackal's doing pretty well on the net worth, but he's not going to have a big impact against a Night Stalker this early on.
Oh, he's got the double damage. Sentry is actually dropped there by Zik, so if Mini wants to go that way, he's going to be spotted out. I thought for a minute there might actually be an engagement right there, but unfortunately, Cupad not able to make anything happen. But let's talk about the supports for a second, because this is a problem. That Clockwork's level 4. The offlane Windrunner is level 6. Mini is 7. And the Shadow Demon is also 6. So you can see the mech already almost completed on Waga on top of that too. So it's like everything for Cupad right now is going brilliantly.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, he's currently farming bot lane. He's close to his mech. But also he's able to do this just because of the pressure that Select and Jarex are putting onto the mid tower. ICC Cup know that they need to be able to successfully defend this mid tower. How are they going to get farm on Jackal? How are they going to use the Nature's Prophet if they lose all their tier 1 towers in just under, what should be around 15 minutes? It's going to be devastating. They are pulling the Ancients, so they're doing this again, but the pressure that Cupad are putting on looks a little bit too much. But we'll see if IC Cup can get a good defense out of the next fight. That's really what they need. They can't get picked off. They need a good defense. They really need a cooldown to hit. They need level 6 on their Bane. He's the closest support to level 6 for them. We just sick. He's currently 5.5 right now. But sitting by this tier 1 tower, sharing the experience with the Clockwork and the TA, he's probably not going to get it anytime soon. And all the meanwhile, Sing Sing very happy to take the farm that he's got available to him, and he's going for his armlet.
He's going for actually armlet, and he's got his completed phase boots too, so he's got that extra blade of attack in his inventory. So right now for Icy Cup, the name of the game is just try to get your map back, because Waga continues to just farm in the most dangerous position possible, and you mentioned the pressure that Cupad Red Pandas are able to bring to bear here, and there's just nothing that Icy Cup can really do about it. They have no reaction. This Clockwork, he's not going to be 6 anytime soon. The Bane's not going to have Fiend's Grip, so whenever there's a fight, their initiators or counter-initiators aren't going to be able to actually perform just yet. Things have spiraled out of control too quickly. This lineup from Icy Cup really isn't even that greedy. It's just they weren't expecting so much problems to be had in this middle lane on this TA.
Yeah, absolutely. And we should just also check the wards before a fight potentially might kick off. Just look at the ward placements from Cupad Red Pandas in the jungle of Icy Cup. You've got one in the center, you've got one up top, by high ground, and you've even got one by the heavy creek camp where IC Cup Mag is farming on his Nature's Prophet, and they've even got one on the their safe lane all the way down that can see the tier 2 tower. They have essentially boxed IC Cup in.
This is really a scary situation. Jerax might actually be in a bit of trouble here. There is going to be a TA trap used by Resolution. Jerax, of course, doesn't have any teammates nearby. Treant's trying to do some body blocking here, doing a pretty good job, but I'm not entirely sure if the rest of IC Cup want to try to pursue this, and it looks like it's just going to be a ward war that Jerax, by himself, interestingly enough, against potentially 3 heroes who are kind of nearby, he's going to win it.
Yeah, definitely tells the story in terms of how scary the rotation from Mini and Select can be on the Night Stalker and the Nyx Assassin, but Cupad seem content just to farm. They really are just pulling down or getting as many of their players in as many lanes as possible, just picking up as much farm as possible. Jarek's actually going to come back in with Select. It is nighttime, of course, for the Night Stalker. Darkness is available, and they're looking to rotate mid. They are actually going to see Resolution, and Jarek's going to kick off this fight. Select, no, doesn't want to go for it, just wants to back off, and there was a lot of backup. So a good call for them. And all the meanwhile, Sing looking to push tier 2 top with Mini. So Cupad just looking to get the most out of the map that they've been able to control here. Is this the right choice for them, or do you feel that they maybe should have done something mid or got more pickoffs? Have they succeeded in the last 5 minutes, or have they let you down in expectations?
Definitely. Cupad, they just killed Mag. They killed him top lane. There was a infested Nyx and the Nate spawn, which is a pretty scary one at that, because like I mentioned during the draft, you want something to be able to punish that hero for split pushing, and they managed to do so and apply some pressure to the tier 2. So the communication was, you can't go on that because you're not going to have anyone else there, and we know for a fact that there's going to be 3, if not 4, in Icy Cup's woods. So the decision that they made is actually a pretty hard one, because they might have actually been able to kill Resolution, but they would have died in the process. So all in all, Cupad Red Pandas making the proper decisions here in game number 2. And there's no reason to really push it that hard, because you know that Resolution, he's been shut down pretty thoroughly. He's slowly making his way back in. He is going for the Treads drum build, by the way. Yep. But he needs a lot more now because he's been struggling so hard in these early stages.
We should also mention, though, going in IC Cup's favor is the BKB on Jackal has almost finished. But up against the Shadow Demon, we can also mention how annoying that can be sometimes, just if they want to use Demonic Purge on it. So, could mean a lot if he gets it for the next team fight. He's only 100 gold away. Another story for IC Cup. Mag.
Wow, long distance Fiend's Grip in the bottom lane on Wagga. That is some serious range. Here comes the rocket. Wagga probably not going to be able to make it from this one. And yeah, the Nature's Prophet ulti enough to get the kill. So, IC Cup, they're on the board. Resolution being chased away mid as Cupad look to try to pressure the tier 1.
Yeah, and they should be able to get this. Still daytime though, so Select's not going to get the best out of his Night Stalker here. Nice rocket flare coming in just to help clear off the creep wave. And they take that tower down to a decent amount. And they're just going to back off. And they really want Wagga for these fights, Cupad. That mech that they haven't utilized it yet in the team fight. And I'm sure they're going to want to.
As soon as he is alive again,
yeah,
I'm assuming that they're going to want to try to make something happen. So Mini, he wants to try to go on somebody here, but he's going to get auto-attacked in the face by Resolution. Of course, that refraction proving to be very, very annoying. And you can see how he can just position himself like that and still not feel scared, just because of how good TA is actually against Cupad. But since they've killed him 3 times, he's still got 70 CS at 16 minutes, which is relatively impressive. But you look at Mini, and Mini is just doing spectacular. He's got a tremendous amount of CS, 43, 1, 0, and 2. He's level 9 on a Nyx. Nobody really expects a Nyx to be that high level, but whenever you're playing against Cupad Red Pandas, it's going to be a possibility.
Yeah, and I'm sure Mouse Sports are watching this and considering if they have to play Cupad, how they're going to counter these strats. Also, bottom lane, Wagamama did have to defend the tower, so he isn't able to join his team yet with the mech, and he is heading towards that 4 staff. A great item pickup for his Windrunner, and now he's going to head mid. And there we see Sing Sing's inside Mini. They're going to get a double stun. Out comes Sing. And really nice play, though, by I Always Want to Fly on his Clockwork. Good cogs up, and they will get a full cooldown. So currently, 2 have dropped for IC Cup, and there's a buyback from the team of Cupad Red Pandas. But this is done very well, but it looks like Resolution won't be able to get out with his life as here drop as well. And that'll be Sing picking up on the Life Stealer. And I believe that Mini was the one who dropped. He brought back, and the mech was used. Are they going to be able to take down this tier 1 tower? Surely they will be able to.
I don't think there's going to be any question. They have everyone here right now. Wagga is a little bit low on mana at the moment, so that's one thing they have to always be cautious of, because he uses that mech, of course, and all of his abilities. But Wagga, he gets the last hit on the tower, so he's actually going to be close to a 4-staff. Actually, he just has enough for a 4-staff if he wants to buy it. So 4-staff mech on off-lane Windrunner at 17 minutes. Bruno, you got to hit us with some stats on that, because that's completely insane, especially for a situation like this. But scouting out Roshan, IC Cup want to make sure they don't give anything more away. And these fights from IC Cup, they're not necessarily sloppy because the cooldown did a tremendous amount of damage. They're just behind. You can just feel it in the items that they have.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. Like the initiation that they had afterwards, or the counter initiation with the Clockwork, I Always Want to Fly, was really on point, and it helped Jackal be able to put down a very strong cooldown. If they didn't have that...
Oh, Meg, and a quadruple stun coming out from Mini. Always Want to Fly. He catches Sing in the cogs. Probably not who he wanted to call down. Does a little bit of damage to Wagga. He immediately pops the mech to heal up, of course, Mini and Select. But Sing, he's going to kill Always Want to Fly. He did manage to isolate the Lifestealer, but it doesn't really seem to matter. Cupad are just so far ahead. Resolution, he's going to get 4-staff back. I don't know if it's going to be able to save him. Silence coming out from Select on Mag to stop the TP back to base. And Armlet Toggle coming out from Select as well to let himself live. And this Cupad Red Pandas looks completely different than the one we saw the other day. It's a 4-man kill right there coming out. Actually, I want to say it was 5 because Clockwork is just so low level. I think he just revived again. Oh, no, did he buy back? He just got a flare kill. No, he didn't buy back. He was just alive. Okay, so...
Oh, Sing died.
Yeah, he got a flare kill, and he hit him pretty much right behind where the tier 1 used to be. So very, very nice shot coming out there from Clockwork, but that's only the 3rd kill of the game.
And how good was that setup for Mini? A 4-man stun. And then the whole team from Cupad, they know it's game time once you hit a stun that good. They all chase in, and just absolutely demolish him. Select as well, playing very nicely, making sure he got the silence. But we can see it all kick off here. Here's the stun for Mini. 1, 2, 3, 4. Power shot comes in, does a little bit of damage. Sing does get isolated, but Select is just on the move. He wants to get involved. Mini's going to have to back out. Jackal pops his BKB, a good amount of damage, but once the cooldown's finished, it's chase time. Sing picks up the clockwork, and from here on in, it's just chase, chase, chase. And then I got to say, Select, nicely done in terms of just making sure he gets on his targets. You see in just a moment, he's going to throw a silence on Mag, stops him from getting away. That's another kill. And just before he goes down, there's the armlet toggle. And Mini, once again, he had a 4-man stun. Let's have one more on just one person, and boom, another kill. So all in all, that couldn't have gone any better for QPad, apart from maybe the buyback rocket flare on Sing. But it's now, they've got Roche available to him. They've still got the map locked down. If you look at the ward placement in the jungle, QPad are doing great. But let's focus a little bit on IC Cup. They do have a gem on resolution, so they're not going to allow for that 4-man stun coming up on Mini. That is very important. But where do they go from here? Because this Roshan kind of counter, because they know that they're up against a team going Roshan, this as a counter is very risky. Jerex throws down a sentry ward.
Yeah, they're going to spot him out. Resolution, he goes for the trap. How's the initiation going to be? Mini, he wants to find a stun, maybe a bigger one than just one. Here comes the call down. It's going to be able to hit 3 this time. Always want to fly locked in with Select, doing quite a bit of damage, and it looks like Wagga gets nightmared up. Select trying to retreat. Sing, he comes out of the infestation. He wants to go back on a Jackal after the BKB's down. Shackle's going to be there. Doesn't latch. A 3-man stun comes in for Mini. He's got his Blink Dagger completed. The Bane, he goes down. Resolution going to be the next one to fall. Another Void comes out on a Jackal, and Wagga is going to be securing himself a double kill. And we talked about how important it was that IC Cup give away the gem in Game 1. They just gave QPad Red Pandas another one.
Yeah, that for me is already GG, I have to say. Sorry to call this early. Anybody who's a fan of IC Cup or QPad Red Pandas and wants to see this game go on for a little bit longer. But the fact is, the cogs were great. They caught 2 very important heroes. Select being just isolated was very worthwhile. I think he caught another one in there. It might have even been Sing, who actually maybe even infested just to avoid some of the cooldown damages. Top lane, Mini and Select take down Mag. But having that gem, the map, I can't see IC Cup getting any room. This is all about, are QPad going to be able to throw this game? Because as far as I'm concerned, IC Cup, they really need to just get the most out of what's available to them, which is very little. Even the Ancients that they normally like to stack and be able to kill, if you check the Ancients, there's a ward there. So with Mini, Vendetta, with a gem, with Blink Dagger, you're not getting that farm either. So Jackal, he's just stuck on a BKB. I could see him just finishing this game with a BKB at this rate.
It's really got to be frustrating for IC Cup because always want to fly. We saw his clockwork yesterday, and he played it very well. He managed to isolate the targets that he wanted, but when you isolate Sing or Select, the heroes are just so damn tanky that you can't take them down while they're inside of the cogs. And we're going to see Mini here. He's got the Vendetta. He's possibly going for Mag once again, and he has that gem, so there's almost no way he's going to be able to get away from this. Sing is actually infested inside of him. Sprout's going to be there for Staff. Mini actually just blinks inside of the Sprout. And this is going to be a kill steal, actually, coming out of Select. So very nice contribution coming out from the Night Stalker. But still, another kill on Mag is another kill the IC Cup just can't afford to give.
Yeah, in team fights, he does play a decent role, a Nature's Prophet. Obviously, his ultimate, a good amount of damage if you're able to connect on all targets after it bounces a few times. And a Sprout is also worthwhile, but still, he'll be up soon, but they now can't defend that tier 2 tower. Even if I don't think they could have defended it before. Sing, he's got a basher up on his lifestealer, also with that armlet. Select as well. He's gone for the armlet. We haven't seen a second item from him, but it looks like he's going for Aghanims, which is just going to be a pain in the ass for IC Cup if he needs to finish that. Just because of the sheer vision it gives you. If you're not familiar with Aghanims on Night Stalker, you are literally a walking tower in daytime that can see over all trees and everything that you're around. And it's just when you're ahead with a Night Stalker and you get your Aghanims, the team can't do anything other than to surprise you other than smoke. That's the only way you can actually pick a fight. Otherwise, QPad are going to have every bit of advantage in vision and every bit of advantage when it comes to the initiation.
IC Cup, they've actually kind of gotten lucky right now that QPad aren't just pressuring non-stop. It's Not necessarily a blunder by QPad, but they've been playing so aggressive for so long that this is the first time they've been on their side of the map in the last probably 10 minutes straight. So now Icy Cup, they have a little bit of breathing room. They haven't been able to really get much. They did get the tier 1 in the bottom lane, which is nice, but the mid-tier 1 actually gets denied, and QPad smoke up again. They're not looking to give Icy Cup any openings.
I also want to mention that smoke could have been seen, just because there was a high ground ward just opposite the tier 1. Not sure if it was or wasn't spotted, but
looks
it could
like
have been. And yeah, they are going to back off to the tier 2. So QPad not expecting the ward to be there. The smoke isn't going to play in their favor. They obviously wanted a pick-off kill before they had to push a tier 2 tower, but it looks like they're going to just have to man-fight unless I always want to fly. Resolution and Jackal are going to be able to catch them off guard, but actually Mini gets, again, a nice stun. Going to go on always want to fly. The Clockwork potentially going down first. He hasn't gone down yet. Nice stun. They are going to lose one apiece. Mini for the Clockwork. I always want to fly. Wagamama looking to go down. Here finally Chopper. He actually had the Aegis. Jackal going to get blown up by the infestation of Sing Sing. And we just sit going to drop. Mag as well looking to go down. And, well, I was a bit worried for Wagger, but then I completely forgot he had the Aegis.
Yeah, he did get the Aegis right there, and it was actually a very nice play by the Bane. He Fiends Grip Sing as soon as he saw the Rage, but Jerax came in from the back. He got the disruption off to let Sing just get inside of the fight and do the ridiculous amount of damage that a Lifestealer can actually deal. And in the beginning, Always Want to Fly and Resolution, not only did they get impaled together, they got shackled together inside of the cog, so they couldn't really get the full damage output right there. So, QPad, they take the tier 2 in the top lane, and what little map control Icy Cup possibly had left is starting to fade.
Now, I want to talk about Icy Cup in terms of where they want to take a team fight and how they have to initiate it. For you, if you're Icy Cup and you're up against a team which is pretty far ahead, look, you know, the score says it all. It's 22-4. I'm sure we've looked at the graphs as well. XP difference, over 20,000. Even if you want to just get the best out of a team fight, that you probably can't win at this point.
Oh, Resolution. What are you doing there, buddy? It's actually going to be a godlike streak for Select, but please continue.
Yeah, even if you want to get the best out of a team fight that you probably can't win, how do you want to initiate it, and what targets are you going to focus if you're Icy Cup?
It's a really hard call, because if you look at QPad, all of their heroes are hard to kill. Even though Mini doesn't have a tremendous amount of health, it's a Nyx. And he has the Carapace, and he has Vendetta, and a Blink Dagger. He can get himself in the fight, get the kill that he wants, before you really have a chance to react, and that's pretty much been the story. It's like Icy Cup, they come to the fight, their execution has actually not been lacking that much. They just gave away a little bit too much in the early laning phase. A lot of this goes all the way back to when Resolution goes 0-3 in the first 6 minutes. That's a huge deal. That is the playmaker on the side of Icy Cup that hasn't really had a chance to shine. So the targeting for Icy Cup, they can really only go on maybe one target, and that's going to be Jerax, who's always going to be sitting in the back.
Oh, we'll see what they can make happen if they decide to do anything on the tier 2 tower bottom. I can't see it happening, and if they do, you can see Mini once again with Sing Sing on the Lifestealer ready to infest out and drop a maximum amount of damage. Select does have his Aghanim Scepter completed, also a gem on him too, so just there's no vision on the side of Icy Cup at all. They do have a high ground ward at least on their just above their neutrals, and the lineup of QPad, an Abyssal Blade on Sing as well. We only just got to see that as he's come out, but they should be able to siege this tower down, or are they looking to kill behind the tower? Because I can see Mini looking for a blink in here, but we'll find out what happens in just a moment.
And they could very easily
could be
die.
The last fight.
And the glyph is popped, so this is the last stand for Icy Cup, not only in this game, but in their entire qualification match for TI3. This is the last line of defense that's currently standing right now. Ward's going down, trying to get some control inside of the base. Daytime actually rolls around, and unfortunately there's going to be... Oh, never mind, Daytime. But how did he actually get out of those cogs? That was a little bit strange. And Mini, he's going to blink in. He immediately vendettas after getting that stun. Now, Always Want to Fly, completely out of mana. QPad, they get the tower for free. They're going to be content with that. They're going to back up. So, I mean, honestly, for Icy Cup, that could have gone a heck of a lot worse. I really thought that QPad might have just forced it there.
Yeah, I thought so as well. And Wagamama did have that 4 staff just to get him out of the cogs. He's also finished up a full Orchid and has almost 2,000 gold on him. The net worth, the top 3, he's actually second in net worth, Wagamama.
Yeah.
With that 2,000 gold in the bank. Whether or not he's going to go for a Blink Dagger, who knows? We'll have to see. But it looks like this, again, QPad want to take a fight. Now, there are only 3 people here, and they're up against 4. This could be dangerous for QPad. And already they're backing off.
Yeah, the cooldown's actually going to whiff on everyone. Jerax looks to be the targeted choice right here. This is kind of what I was saying. Disruption's going to be there. Looks like they might try to regroup, and Mag off in no man's land by himself. Going to get power shot by Wagga. Jerax somehow still alive. Are you kidding me right now? He should eventually go down, but the amount of jukes is unreal. The flare is going to be there, but Cupad, they want to reinitiate a double shackle between Jackal and Zik. The TA drops a trap. Mini actually gets cogged out by always on the fly on the high ground, but Sing just evaporates Zik on that Bane. Jackal with the BKB popped. Is he going to be able to live through this? Wagga, he's trying to juke. Not going to be able to do so. Resolution gets the kill. The Abyssal Blade is popped. Nighttime comes around, and Select, he wants the kill, but Mag, Icy Cup, they call GG. Their road to TI3 ends here.
And that will be the last game for Icy Cup in the International West qualifiers, losing out after a very good performance yesterday against Mouse Sports. Unfortunately, they came in today, and a 0-2 is not the scoreline you want to finish your tournament with, because you just felt like you probably didn't turn up and played your best. We knew they could have done better, but Cupad have stepped up today. And going up against Mouse Sports, they now look like they could contend for that second place. And we did say yesterday, EG was so good that they made every team look bad.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a very interesting matchup for other reasons other than just the players wanting to go to the international. Sing Sing used to be a member of Mouse Sports a long time ago, used to play alongside Black. They know each other very well. They're all friends as well. Mouse Sports and Cupad get on very well in terms of they will practice against each other a lot when it's available, and probably haven't much prior to this tournament just because, well, you don't want to give away what you're practicing, and what your strats and tactics are going to be. But I feel that Mouse Sports have seen a lot from these two games. Just the Nyx Assassin maybe has been shown, but that also could be good for Cupad if they have something else they want and they want them to focus on taking away that Nyx Assassin. That could be nice. But overall, fantastic game from Cupad Red Pandas. Anything else you want to say on the match at hand? If just last thoughts?
Well, for Cupad, this is a different team to me today. That's really all I can say. If we watched their performances yesterday, they weren't really communicating that well. Just by watching them, you could kind of tell. They were giving away a lot. They tried a couple of things, but overall I felt this sense of hesitation, not even just in Select. We kind of singled him out yesterday, I suppose, during the broadcast and said, well, he didn't really go for the RPs. But it was more than just that. It was kind of everyone. But today, everyone from the side of Cupad just seemingly knowing exactly where they need to be and when. And I got to give props to Select and Mini today, because they were the ones who really forced all the issues. Mini found the kills on Mag multiple times during the mid-game, even when they were already so far ahead. So it seems to me that if you're going to play Prophet against Cupad, you don't want to give them Nyx.
Yeah. Absolutely. Just the way they play it. Normally you can, it's okay because you're expecting him just to pull the lane a bit, play support. He doesn't get, so, like as you said, he was level 9 mid when you expect him to probably be around level 6.
Yeah,
potentially
maybe.
even 7. So just the impact that he had. And Spike Carapace scales pretty damn well. If you get to use it, because it's the cooldown it reduces, the more you points you put in Spike Carapace, the lower the cooldown, so you can use it twice in fights more often. Also, it has a longer stun duration, the more points you put into it. And even though that's the only extra ability that you're maxing out, it's a big factor for those team fights, especially since they did last pretty long, some of the team fights.
Yeah.
You had some tanky heroes across both teams with the gyrocopter, BKB, TA with the refraction, Clockwork obviously being great at disrupting the fight. So interesting game from Cupad, and I think Mouse Sports are going to be like, right, it's time to bring our A game here.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, we're back in the studio here. We, of course, have talked up Cupad Red Pandas, but of course, we want to hear what Bruno and Wepas have to say too.
That was a very stompy game from the Cupad Red Pandas. And during the game, Wepas was telling me, because of course he was in the training area with them, so he knows a little bit about these strats. So can you describe what their goal was to begin with in the game? Like you pretty much said specific things.
Well, basically, you could see from the start off where Sing, when he went out on this lifestealer, he actually just picked up tangos, a salve, and a shield to make sure. He wanted to check how the lanes were going to be, because they've seen Icy Cup play a defensive tri lane pretty much every game, but he still wanted to be sure. So he went to the lane, farmed up a Quelling Blade, and then went into the jungle. And then they proceeded to do the tactic that they did before, where Mini was safe lane farming, because a lifestealer can force the Nature's Prophet out of the lane quite fast. So Mag didn't want to stay there and then he commits to the jungle, whereas Mini can go into the lane and farm. So they got level 6 really fast on that Nyx Assassin once again, and then they could get the rotation going together with the Night Stalker as soon as the Night Stalker hit level 6 and got his first nighttime, of course.
And that Night Stalker in Select was playing very, very well.
12-0.
12-0, beyond godlike. Very solid play. There was a moment where he was waiting right here. Templar Assassin started right-clicking him. We thought that Select was going to
We're
flip.
like, what the fuck is he doing?
And he had a region rune in bottle. And just he came here, he took quite his time. The rotation from the support comes, he pops the region rune. And suddenly Resolution dies for the second time. And that second death was big because Resolution could never get back to game after that. And it was all over from there on.
Yeah, I didn't see that actually happening. I was talking about something else, and then quickly got the gist of it as Resolution went down. But overall, just really impressive game. Andy, I spoke a lot as well, by the way. I know you've got a bad throat, so I'm trying to do everything.
It's okay, man.
Did a little bit of play-by-play.
Whenever you want to hand it off, you just hand it off. I will always be here for you.
Huh? What do you? Wait, Scriff, you can just talk. It's okay, Scriff.
Yeah,
you're allowed.
Next game, they're asking in the chat. 8:30.
Next game actually starts at 8:30. Yeah.
1 hour and 20 minutes.
So it's a while. Unfortunately, there was a 2-0, which means that there's probably going to be a little bit of downtime, but of course we're going to be coming back before the match starts to do our pregame, our stats, our Bruno things. Maybe he'll unbutton another button if you guys stay tuned. Hopefully he will.
Yeah, we'll stay around for a bit, but of course it is important we try and keep to the schedule as best as possible, just because there are going to be people that are maybe not able to see the first game because of work or other commitments, and they're going to want to come in just for the second game that they know they can watch because it starts at 8:30 CET. So if we start early because we're available to start early, it's not fair, on some of the viewers, and also Mouse Sports. They expect to start at 8:30. So QPAD, sure, they've just had a game, they're ready to go, they want to keep the momentum, but it's important that we stay as strict as possible when we can to the schedule. And you can see the fight here, one of the big fights where QPAD are just looking hungry for blood.
Why is there no dubstep? Like, this needs wub wub trance. Get on it, man. We just want to see the 4-Man Impale over and over to dubstep music.
Well, yeah, we're
just
going
show
to see it again.
Okay.
But another thing, though, that I want to point out that we've been really emphasizing a lot during this qualifier is that the supports have had such a big impact in these games, and you could really see that, especially Mini, did so much at this game. I mean, you can see with this 4-Man Impale, and then later in the game outside of the road, she got a 3-Man Impale in the middle of the fight. That's not I mean, a 3-Man Impale in the middle of a fight is quite rare to see. I believe it's actually at this fight. So Mini was really playing super well on that Nyx Assassin.
Yeah, this was a good initiation. You can see actually, Singh jumped into select there with Infest just to avoid most of the damage. He would have come out with pretty much just a quarter of his life that's available, and there comes the 3-man stand. And that, the fight was going in their favor anyway, but Mini, just when he turns it around, and Trance loves his new replay.
Dude, I love it.
Everyone wants to play with it.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
It's quite amazing.
And I think he just got his blink during that fight, right? Like
he backed out with Vendetta and then waited until he got a really good situation. So, and this was just like, how did Jarex manage to survive?
We actually brought the camera away from that because we had a fight going on over here, but Jarex...
Yeah, Mag actually TP'd into the right-hand side, I believe, while that fight on Jarex was happening, and just got picked off solo, and that was enough time for Select to rotate back in, and once he was in the fight, it was, cleaned up, and then that was the GG call. So IC Cup finished their run there. We should take a look at the brackets just to show you how the whole of Group B has been played out. Every group, Group A and Group B, only last 2 days. On the first day, it's about the upper bracket, so you have your 2 upper bracket semi-finals. Mouse Sports beat IC Cup there. They moved on to play against EG and got knocked down with a 2-0. And